Welcome back to the podcast. Today we are going to talk about sunk cost and why it might be ruining your life. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Flora Sage, minimalism mentor, simplification coach, and 7-time author. And for over 26 years, I've been helping women like you align into a life or a business that you are wildly obsessed with by helping you clear out the 9 types of clutter keeping you from a life that you love. What are those 9 types of clutter? They are mental, spiritual, emotional, digital, financial, daily, body, process, and environmental clutter. My YouTube page is where I share my environmental decluttering tips, and here on the podcast, I share with you how to declutter the rest. Please subscribe or follow this feed so you get notified every single time an episode is released. So, what is sunk cost? Sunk cost is the amount of time you've spent or invested in something. This could be a relationship, this could be a business, a diet, a hobby, literally anything that you spend time on. When you get clear about what you want, you will be faced with things that you have spent a lot of time on that no longer fit the vision of your life. Now, a lot of people will hold on to these things because of how long they've spent on this particular thing. Again, whether it's a relationship, whether it's trying to build a certain type of business, or even being in a career. It could be a hobby. It could be something that you really wanted to make stick in your life, and it's just not working out the way that you intended. Or it was fabulous, but now it's just kind of there and you're going through the motions and you don't really find fulfillment and just deep enjoyment out of it. And, you know, when you've spent a good number of years invested in something, it's very, very hard to get rid of something and to stop doing it. And this is the sunk cost for you. The sunk cost is how many years, how much money, how much effort has gone into this particular thing. And this sunk cost is too great for you to let it go. Now, as humans, we are designed to adapt to our environment. We crave routine. We crave the known. I've got podcast episodes about where I talk about our brains, the blood glucose, the reticular activating system, you know, all the things in our brain that cause us to filter out those things that we no longer want, those things that we do want. We talk about the basal ganglia and how that creates habits and all the things. So I'm not going to go back into this here, but our brains are designed to crave routine and the known. And that adaptation of our routine and the known will lull you into a rut of good enough. You don't have to settle for good enough, okay? Think about what you're holding on to and those things that you're ready to move on from. Think of what's that costing you. Think of what you're holding on to that no longer serves you. Think of what this is costing you in your life. Okay? And you have this thing and you're like, I don't want to get rid of this because of how much time and effort and energy and money and all the things that I've spent on it. Even though this is what I know that I don't want any longer, it's that sunk cost. Think of what this is costing you. This is costing you your freedom. This is costing you deep peace, happiness. It's costing you your dream. For what? For what? For the pride of holding on to something that you don't like anymore. And maybe for what other people may or may not think or say or do or share with you because of their opinions or because they're triggered because you're giving something up. Remember, several podcast episodes ago, I talked about how to not justify to the people in your life about what you want. This is the same thing. This is your life. This is your life. And when you hold on to something because of the sunk cost, I mean, there's so much that happens. Like tragedy ensues, literally. There's so many regrets and shoulda, woulda, couldas, and depression and anxiety and all kinds of things stem from holding on to what maybe served you in the past but does not serve you now. And you're holding on to it because of the sunk cost. So allow yourself the freedom to really say, why am I holding on to this? Is it truly because of the sunk cost, or is it something else? Okay. And again, a lot of the times people will hold on to things because, well, what if, so-and-so says this, or what so-and-so may or may not, who cares what they think? They don't think about you when they make decisions about their life. So why should it be, why should it matter what someone else may or may not say? Don't waste more time in your life because of the sunk cost of something that you've outgrown and that you're ready to move on from. Don't let life pass you by any longer. Don't do this. I've seen this so often in my practice. When people come to me and they're like, Flora, I can't believe I'm this age and I'm no closer to getting my dream life than I was 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And that sunk cost feeling is real. It's visceral. I've spent so much time in this job and it's suffocating me. Or I've spent so much time with this person and we've outgrown each other and it's just, we don't mesh well anymore. We're growing, or we've grown apart. I've outgrown this lifestyle and I'm not sure how to change my habits. And you're in that space of discomfort, but it's not uncomfortable enough for you to do something about it. Humans, as I mentioned, we crave routine, but we also crave pleasure. And what you're doing when you're holding on to something because of the sunk cost, you're holding on to pain. And that pain is causing discomfort. It's possibly causing dis-ease in your body. It's possibly causing raised levels of cortisol, which is stress, which can pack on the pounds. It can disrupt sleep. It can disrupt eating patterns, a whole host of things. And what happens is when you give yourself permission to get very clear about what you want, what you desire, and what you're ready and willing to let go of, to have that new invigorating sense of life and sense of self, and that life that you truly want, magic happens. Magic happens. To help you with this, I have opened up complimentary spots in my calendar for strategy sessions, for coaching sessions, so I can help you figure out these things that you have this sunk cost feeling about. And we can pick it apart and I can coach you through this array of emotions, because big emotions come up when you're shifting into something new. And once we figure out what these things are, I'll give you resources to help you declutter these things, to help you with some mindset shifts, to help you make peace with these things so that you can then gradually move on from this space that you're in, that feeling like life is passing you by. And I'll usher you into that space of now feeling like you are now in the driver's seat for your life. So click the link in the show notes to grab one of these complimentary strategy sessions. When you leave this session, you will have a strategic plan of action on how to get what you want that is tailored and perfectly designed for you. This is not a cookie cutter process, okay? I've been helping people for 26 years, so I am a master at helping you figure out where you are, where you want to be, and we find that messy middle. We find that clutter that's getting in the way, and one of those big pieces of clutter is that sunk cost feeling of being afraid to shift out of something and into something new because of how much time you've spent with that current thing that you have. So click the link in the show notes. Let's jump on a call together. I will give you some resources. You're going to walk away with a clear strategic plan on how to move forward. Also, Let's continue this conversation. If you're watching this on YouTube, I invite you to share your experiences with sunk cost and something that maybe you've been afraid to get rid of or move on from in the comments below. And if you're listening to this on any podcast streaming service, please email me, flora@florsage.com, and share your comments with me. And yes, I do read every single one. Now, if you found today's video helpful and this episode helpful, please subscribe, share with your friends, leave a review. Your support helps this podcast reach more people looking to declutter their lives and align into a life that they are wildly obsessed with. I hope this serves you today. And remember, all it takes is a clear vision of what you want and the willingness to take one small shift in that direction daily to align into a life you love. I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah.